Thanks, Amira. This is a bit of a tongue twister, but I think it gets the idea across, which is there are a lot of solutions being proposed, especially at COP, about what we can do to solve climate change, right? But I think our goal at the Global Assembly, our proposal, is that the most pressing solution of all is actually coming up with a better way of making the solutions themselves. And so it's about the process as opposed to the policies that foreground the conversations around solutions. And really that's the main goal of the project, to try to address and reframe and revise the way we make decisions at the global level. And so you were able to see our video earlier on for this year, which is our prototyping year. This has never been done before. We have 3 core parts of the process. So at the heart of the process, it's the core assembly. This is the citizens' assembly model that's being scaled up for the first time to the global level. It's composed of 100 members who are selected by global location lottery. This means that in June of this year, we ran a computer algorithm based off of NASA population data to drop 100 pins around the world. And once we had those pins dropped, we found local community organizations within a 300-kilometer radius of each of those points. And it was those authentic community spaces, which were often unusual suspects in global deliberation or global governance, who wouldn't normally be tuned in to a conference like COP, who were in charge of then on-street recruiting or door-knocking recruiting an assembly member to join the Global Assembly. And it's this core assembly that has been deliberating for about 3 weeks so far, and they've presented the first iteration of their declaration at our Green Zone event on the 1st. And our invitation is that observers of COP read that document and make the decision for themselves on whether the conversations and negotiations you're seeing at COP are aligned with the People's Declaration. The second part of the assembly for this year are the community assemblies. And so this allows anyone around the world to be able to engage in this global process. These are self-initiated smaller assemblies that use the same learning materials as the core assembly and allow communities around the world to follow along on the journey. And so it's really about these 2 different fora of process that are both locally hosted, but nevertheless globally connected, that we're launching for this year.
Thank you so much for that. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm feeling really inspired right now. So just the final question, and we're running slightly over, so if we can keep responses short, but indeed brilliant. So if you had one wish that could come true around amplifying a wide range of people's public engagement on climate change, what would it be and who would need to be involved? And I'll start with Susan. Thanks.
So we're at day 5 of COP, and I think the key word that I'm hearing from people in my generation is betrayal, and I'm not surprised by this. I think we all saw this coming. So my one wish is for us, particularly people in my generation, to have an actionable alternative that we can actually channel these feelings of betrayal into. We learned early on, I think I learned this in middle school in my world history class, that the people we feel betrayed by, the generations we feel betrayed by, are capable and willing to do systems change. I think the fact that we celebrated the 75th anniversary of the UN is testament to this. And we just need to recognize the fact that we're not at the end of history. We need another Bretton Woods moment, and that moment is right now. And I think the key thing I want to get across is that the ask is not even tantamount to what it was 75 years ago. Leaders are not being asked to initiate this. Rather, the people are saying we're ready for new infrastructures to be built. So my wish is that we change in the same way that we've always done, which is change to be commensurate to the crises that we're facing.